Oh my God, Sarah!
Audio. There we go. Hi, how are you?
You got that flowery dress.
Oh, it's a top. It's a top. It is
Oh
warm
my
here
God.
today. So I've got
Really?
shorts and a nice little summer top on, and it's
Love
October.
it.
It's wild.
Love it, love it, love it. Summer flower. Let's go.
Yeah, exactly. I just was reading on some of your on Slack some of the messages that you had sent.
Sorry, so last minute.
Um, that's okay. That's okay. I was able to read what you completed in the modules too. But I wanted to ask, where do you want to start today? There's so many
Where?
things we
Oh,
can.
well, I just did the assessment.
Yes.
I guess the question there, I'm not sure what in moderation means.
I saw your question, and it's a great one because
Neuroticism?
so under neuroticism in
Yeah.
moderation, so it's actually I'm reading it from their website. It's the way they describe it,
Oh,
which
we
is really
got it.
interesting. So immoderate individuals feel strong cravings and urges that they do have difficulty resisting. They are oriented towards short-term pleasures and rewards rather than long-term consequences. But you score low in this, so you do not experience strong, irresistible cravings, and you don't find yourself tempted to overindulge. Do you feel that this resonates with you? Like you feel that
Oh, I
that's
can be
true
a
of
monk.
you?
You can imprison me for the rest of my life. I can just meditate there like a monk.
That's that's exactly what that means. Yeah, you are not tempted by things that provide short-term pleasure. You look for those long-term goals,
Yeah,
which is
you
it
like
really it's
gratification. That's me.
yeah. You're like that long-term piece of it. You're like, hey, I care about that. What am I getting out of this long-term for my life? Right? Not
Mhm.
just right this second. It's an admirable goal, or it's an admirable trait, sorry, to have.
Okay, I'll take it.
Yeah. So what did you think about the exercises? Do you want to start with like mo the modules? We can talk about that
Oh,
first.
sure. Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, what did you think about the do you want to provide your feedback or do you want me to I can tell you what stood out to
Uh,
me, totally up to you.
Marshall, I mean the reading over there.
Yeah, the readings and then the exercises with it. I brought it up on my screen, but what do you think about
Let's
what
see.
did you think about it?
Can you share it with me?
Of course I can. Yeah, one second. Share, week two, share. Okay, there we go. So this was the childhood family dynamics and trauma.
Uh,
Is there anything you want to particularly talk about with this, or did you want me to kind of
I
point out
think
to you what I
I
saw?
think it's pretty much. I think we kind of went over that. Like I described it. I guess just
Mhm.
putting in writing what I described
Mhm.
before. Yeah, about yeah.
Yeah, okay. I think there's something beautiful to say about where was it? Did anyone you consider right here? So not beautiful, but also like beautiful and tragic. Sorry.
Yeah.
I did not know this. You had a mindset mentor before. Do you want to talk about this at all? This realization that you had about the breaking of trust and like
Yeah,
there's the
I got
discrepancy.
I got this illusion, I guess, because I thought he was a very successful person. At least that's what he portrayed himself to be.
Mhm.
He's like 10 years ahead of me. And we share a similar background. Like, he was a contractor. He was in a construction.
Okay.
He was working in construction, and
Mhm.
he didn't have a good he didn't have a fulfillment in his job, so he quit that, and now he's like all successful, just working on mindset and stuff like that.
Mhm.
So I hired him like it was about 2 years ago. So we work one-on-one on mindset, and it's called the wheels of life, like just nine departments in your life,
Mhm.
like business, finance, philanthropy, relationship, romance, family, yeah, all sorts. So you
Mhm.
want to have like a full circle, not like
Yep.
something is like a tiny circle, or just like something that's
Yeah.
not a circle at all. You want to have balance in all
Mhm.
areas of your life.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
exactly.
yeah, so I guess it's just that the image that he portrayed to people, and the I guess the
Mhm.
the battle. the demons that he was fighting, like within him,
Mm-hmm.
uh actually just devour him to the point that
I
he
see.
can just live to other people's expectation of him and the
Mm-hmm.
image that he portrayed to the outer world. So
Mm-hmm.
I guess that really just imploded on him. And then as a
Yeah.
result of it, he just took his life. And that was like
Mm-hmm.
extremely shocking, not to me, and a lot of people that he had made impact on. Is like,
Mm-hmm.
how can he do that? So that made me just kind of like jaded. Because actually Shay and I we kind of went through the same thing together,
Mm-hmm.
which was like it's also like one of my goals is to pursue personal development, like to grow in that regard.
Yeah.
So I guess it really it hurt her more than it hurts me. I
Mm-hmm.
understand that nobody is perfect, so I realize that he's really a mess. He's really a messenger. He carries that
Mm-hmm.
message, but
Mm.
you can't really blame it on the messenger. At least I got the message. I got the gist of what he was
I
uh
see.
trying to convey. But
Yeah.
I think it took her to a different direction. It's like, hey, this is
Mm.
yes, look at all these people that say one thing but does another.
Mm-hmm.
They don't practice
Mm-hmm.
what they preach.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I guess she became a little bit cynical. For me,
Mm-hmm.
I kind of understand it because how I realize that nobody is perfect, and
Mm-hmm.
the message itself is good. It's just that
Mm-hmm.
the medium or the conduit that carries the message
Yeah.
is defective. Yeah. So
Mm-hmm. It's so interesting because I'm not as familiar with mentorship as I am with kind of like the therapy coaching side, but mentorship, it sounds like it's somebody that you need to look up to in those ways, right? And what we're doing here, thank you for sharing that story also. And the tragicness of it is really kind of coming through and what you learned from it too, Kevin, because in these types of environments, we're helping you be the person that you look up to, right? We don't need it to be like you look up to Christy and I, because we really want it to be that we guide you so that you don't need a mentor then. You can actually be your own mentor and find that within yourself. And what they say often in that kind of like the therapy world is that it's really hard to take clients past the point that you've taken yourself. So a lot of these things that you and I are talking about are things that, like, as a personal disclosure, I've had to take on my own journey years ago in order to
right.
be able to practice that. Why are we helping people on that if we don't even believe it, right? So it's that process of self-love and identity. It's so important for you
Yeah.
to go through too, right?
Yeah. Um, I guess I got so into this dream or somebody that has been there and done that.
Yeah.
So I want to just
Mm,
like really shorten the journey. Like, hey, why repeat the same mistakes if
yeah.
somebody, a mentor, a teacher
Yes.
who
Hmm.
has experience of going through the pain can tell you that, hey, Kevin, you don't have to go through those pain in order to experience these lessons.
Yeah.
You can just like bypass that and cut through it. I do feel like it was something though. I mean, I wouldn't regret spending that time with him.
Hmm.
I think
Hmm.
it's a journey that actually took me from that to like where I am to where we are right now.
Hmm.
And we're actually
Hmm.
discovering really that open that can of worms. And we're actually
Yeah.
discovering that there's a lot of problems in Kevin that we need to work on.
Mm.
I do appreciate the fact that he kind of opened that up for me. Uh,
Mhm.
and then as we dig deeper and we realize that there's so
Mhm.
much going on there that needs to be worked on. Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting perspective because it sounds like and so like to kind of go to your original point there, you want someone to help you bypass so there's more efficiency related.
Yeah.
Business world totally makes sense. Wanting to be like, hey, someone made mistakes, I don't want to make those same mistakes.
Hmm.
In life, in this really, really, it's horrifically ironic, but he taught you that some of the things that he was like mentoring you for in terms of mindset and life aren't going to give you everything. So if you strive for them without navigating that pain, without facing it, like it might not. So he actually provided you a painful experience inadvertently and probably accidentally, but you experienced pain by that breakage of trust that you're like, of course, like this person, why would he do this? Like he said he was all these things.
Mhm.
And that right in there is actually a wildly important experience to go through so that you know for yourself, you're like, hey, people are experiencing pain and that's normal. Now, how do I move through that myself so that I
Mhm.
don't end up like that, right? How do I move through this and face it head on and be like, I can do this. I can look at the pain that I've experienced. I can look at this sadness and be like, I can handle this. I've got this. I'm going to experience it at times in my life and I've got this,
Yeah. I have
right?
never ever like I feel like um I feel like well, I can tell you this. I have never ever felt this kind of pain before. Like this breakup
Mm,
actually just, oh my God, it's like really just take me down to my knees, really.
yeah. Mhm.
I've never ever felt this bad, like this sad before. But
Mm,
interestingly, like when I was working out, so I work out with a coach. His wife was there, and then she saw me this morning. She said, "Kevin, why are you sad?"
okay.
I'm like, okay. I try not to be sad. Uh,
Mm,
and then she's like, you're not here."
mm,
Really? I'm not here. So
mhm.
she asked me, what are you thinking? I'm like, I'm working out. I'm working out. I guess my body was here, but my mind was somewhere else.
She
Uh,
saw you. She saw
yeah,
you as you are.
she saw me sad.
Yeah.
But that was
Kevin, what?
really, yeah,
Yeah.
it really, I've I'm always like a happy person, really like just optimistic. I try to
Yeah.
put out happiness and joy to people. I encourage people, but this thing caused me to realize that like I need to be on the receiving end of it too. Like
Mhm.
I need to be encouraged, and I need to
Yeah,
lift me up as well. Yeah.
exactly. Kevin, I wonder how you feel about holding both happiness and sadness, the two opposing thoughts. It's complicated, but how does it feel holding both those feelings in your body at once? Like you're both a happy person and you're experiencing sadness.
Uh, I think they can coexist. No?
They can. Yeah, they can. Yeah, they can coexist.
Yeah.
I
I
I
wouldn't want to refute that though. I wouldn't want to say that I'm sad.
mhm.
I guess yeah, because I don't want that to define Kevin. Like Kevin
Okay.
is sad, Kevin is negative, Kevin is upset, Kevin is angry. I don't want to be associated with those negative emotions. I want I want people to label me when they think of Kevin, they think of happiness, they think of optimism, they think of
Mm,
encouragement, they think of positivity, they think of
okay.
success. I want to be a role model to people.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay. So outwardly you want this positive kind of reflection back to you that people are looking up to you in this way and with these positive words. Is there a fear that you could have all those positive words and possibly one negative emotion like associated with you as well? Is there a fear there?
Hmm. What do you mean?
Um, Let me word that in a different way. Or is there concern about being seen as happy and positive and optimistic and successful, and at the same time, someone being like, and he's sad because he's going through a breakup? You don't
Uh,
want that associated with your image at all.
it's hard to not hide it as much as I want to, because you know, in a
Mhm.
professional setting and as a
Yeah.
boss, I
Mhm.
I can't tell my employees, hey, I went through a breakup, and therefore
Yep. Mhm.
I'm gonna be sad and I'm
Yeah.
not gonna come to work and I'm not gonna have meetings with you guys.
Mhm.
These meetings are for you guys and
Mhm.
for the company.
Yeah.
So I have to put that aside. but
Exactly.
they can see it. They can see that Kevin is
Mm,
sad. They can see that
okay.
Kevin is not the Kevin that the bubbly Kevin that we know.
Hmm. Mm,
Uh, and I tell them too, like not go into the details that hey, and then there's some
hmm.
personal. I'm going through some personal hardship right now. Do bear
Hmm.
with me, and yeah,
There
they
we go.
understand it.
Okay. So thank you for clarifying that, Kevin, because I didn't realize you meant specifically in the professional setting. We were talking about at the gym, so I wasn't 100% sure that you meant. So in
Oh, yeah,
professional setting, of course, yeah, professional setting, of course, you want to be seen in this very specific way. And you're humanizing yourself really beautifully by saying, I've got some personal hardships right now. Bear with me. You don't have to provide any other details. What we should be doing in your personal life is facing this sadness so that you can move through it
hmm
and it doesn't have to spill into other parts of your life. The hardest part I think that you're experiencing, and please tell me if this resonates with you, is this sadness is, as you said, it's something that you've never experienced before and you don't know how to manage it because it's so challenging to navigate without it spilling over into all areas of your life. You're like, I don't want to face it. I don't want to be sad. Is there a part of you that's like maybe it's the very, very personal, deep part of you that's okay with being sad? Can you let yourself just be sad for a second and say that you miss her?
Sarah, I can't even say I can't even block it out. It's like if I try I used to try, I felt
Yeah.
I could do it, but right now going through this and just
Mm,
uh wanting be more aware of the
yeah.
emotional vulnerability
Yeah.
is
I'm going to stop sharing just for
I'm
now. Yeah.
totally okay. I'm totally okay
Okay.
being sad as much as I don't want to. And I have
Hmm.
a good friend of mine. He kept telling me Kevin, stop moping. I'm like,
Mm,
okay, time to get back on your feet. So, but yeah, it's I think it's a process. I mean, yeah, I mean
yeah.
if you catch a wound, right, it's gonna hurt, and
Mm,
feeling of
yep.
hurt, no matter how you want to block it, how much you want to block it, it's still gonna be there.
Mm,
Uh,
yeah.
and
Exactly.
I can try not to think about it so that maybe that'll lessen the hurt.
Mm, hmm.
But if I touch it, it's gonna hurt. If I,
Mm,
accidentally bump the wound
yeah.
in the wall, it's gonna hurt.
Yep.
Well, the wound is completely healed.
Hmm.
I think I'm in that process really is just
Hmm.
getting healed. Through this
Fantastic
session
analogy.
with you, and but it hurts. It hurts. I can't block it.
Hmm.
I had to just observe it, just
Yeah.
let it heal, let time heal,
Mhm.
really. And
So
and
I'm
I'm
hearing that you
welcoming
used to
it.
try to block it, but you don't
Yeah,
anymore.
I'm not welcoming it. I don't like it. I don't enjoy it.
Mhm.
But I think what can I do?
Kevin, what are you learning from this sadness, this experience of missing Shay?
Uh, I'm trying to like manifest a different outcome. Like I try to reflect and then
Mm,
I probably put too much blame on myself. Like remember I
mm,
talked about like I going to a hike with this person, and he was
mm,
like, "No, Kevin, stop being so analytical. Stop blaming yourself for it." So I guess I went to that extreme of just putting
mm.
the blame, all the responsibility on myself, when in fact I should have been more balanced. I guess like just that. Hey,
Yeah.
there's responsibility I should take, but there's also
Mm,
things that even if you did what you reflected what you could have done, could
mhm,
have saved the relationship. So
mhm.
hindsight is always
It's
2020.
2020.
So I could
Kevin,
have like go
yeah.
back and correct everything, and it
Mhm.
still would not have been perfect, you know.
Exactly, because there's two people in a relationship. We've talked
Right,
about your desire for perfectionism, and even if you went back and corrected, as you say, every single thing that was done,
right.
what if, this is a big what if, but what if Shay was not the right person? What if she was not patient enough? We talked about that patience with the emotional availability. She talked about you not being as emotionally available, but what if there was that lack of patience on her side for you to be able to express yourself,
Uh,
right?
I thought about it too. I thought about it.
Yeah.
That's why like I made that decision to call it quits. Like
Okay.
And then she was the one who's like, okay, yeah, if you say it, then.
Mhm.
But I kept going back and forth.
Yeah. What did you just share with me here? What is this?
Uh, it's about no, check it out. It's a
I'm gonna
horse
open it
in the
now.
rain.
It's a
Um,
what? Sorry, say that again.
it's a horse in the rain.
How to pass through suffering.
So basically, it's he's talking about he's a professor. He's talking about like this
Mhm.
horse that's actually in the rain, but you can't outrun the rain. Like
Yeah.
you can't run into the barn, so that pain is still gonna be there. As a matter of fact, if you run away from the rain, you just
Mhm.
gonna get more drenched in the rain.
Mhm.
So like in that time of suffering, uh
Yeah.
just embrace it because if
Mhm.
the harder or the more you struggle, the more
Mhm.
painful it gets. It's kind
Yes.
of that's like the gist of the horse.
Okay. Can I share a similar one with you, please?
Yeah, please,
It's
please.
it's called Leaves on a Stream. Have you heard of the word radical acceptance?
Radical responsibility maybe, or
Okay.
I would
So
love to, yeah, more, no more.
radical acceptance is part of something called acceptance and commitment therapy. But the
Okay.
whole idea is it's not intended to minimize your emotions and your experiences. It's actually teaching you to look at them and observe them and be like, this is a
Mm,
part of me. This sadness that I'm experiencing, especially when you're at work and you're like,
mhm,
I know that this is something that I'm going through. I need to take a moment and let it, like, I will come back to you later. I will put that
mhm,
thought on the stream and I will come back to my thoughts and my sadness about that relationship later, but I need to let it float down the stream for now. And it's going to come up again. I know it will, but I'm just going to let it continue. Right? It's that mindful practice of the things that are happening for you. And when you're in specific settings, you don't have to let them fully engulf you. Like you don't have to, they don't have to take over. But when you are alone and when you're or when you're with a very supportive person or in these sessions, you can sit with them and be like, I am sad for these reasons. In some ways, I wonder, like, so I'll jump back to Shay for a second and what we were just talking about and your desire to kind of go back and fix things. I
mhm.
wonder if it's your desire for things to have turned out perfectly is overriding everything else right now. Is there some deep emotion with Shay that you miss and are connected with? I'm very curious because I want to kind of dissect that piece of it.
It is so interesting because what I wanted in a perfect relationship, because I wrote them down in my life script. Like we
Mm,
did it. We did it. I had a glimpse of it in my relationship with Shay. Like we lived it out.
okay.
It's like I have that perfect girl in my life, and I feel
Mm,
like I blew it up. Like
okay.
I'm going, I went backwards, Sarah. I went
Mm,
backwards. I'm like, okay, so you manifested this girl, you manifested the things that you wanted to do with this girl, and you had
mm-hmm,
it. You dropped the ball. What happened? Maybe there is
mm-hmm,
a bug in the program that you need to go and fix. And I realized that
mm,
things that I didn't actually program into the life script because she wasn't that forgiving. I so wish that she would give me some um grace.
yes.
I feel
Yeah.
like I was like I feel
Mm-hmm,
like she was like very judgmental of me, and I realized
mm-hmm,
that maybe that's because of me being judgmental of me myself and others
mm,
that I project that image to her on her.
interesting.
That comes back to me. It's this like law
Mm-hmm,
of they call it the law of attraction.
mm-hmm,
You
mm-hmm,
attract what is at your vibrational level or energy level.
yeah. Mm-hmm,
So like I basically just attract the same kind of energy because I'm at
yes.
that level. So I
Mm,
think if I work on myself to elevate to a different energy level, not to be judgmental and just let it be,
mhm.
like radical acceptance, I guess.
Radical ex- yes,
Right.
exactly.
And maybe she'll be radically accepting me or be acceptable to me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's very true. Especially with that focus and that desire for Shay to still like maintain through after all these months. I mean, is there a point where you wish to reach a radical acceptance of what it is right now? She's in another relationship. You are working on yourself. You are allowed to find love. You deserve it. It doesn't have to just be from her. What do you think about me saying that though?
Uh, so Sarah, I'm trying. I'm trying really hard. Like I
Okay.
believe it or not, like I'm working on taking a month off. I'm
Yeah. Okay.
Argentina next month. So we
Oh
have
my
oh,
gosh.
Argentina. I want to get away from this. I want to get away from this environment. Uh, I just want to like embrace some newness, just experience life, that I feel like is more than just this relationship. I don't want to be
Okay.
defined by
Mm,
by my past, by what I have
yeah.
with Jay. And I think
Mm,
that going to a trip, it's actually I take a month to go to intensive, like fully immersive, like school
wow.
where I learn Spanish, like in a
Oh my gosh.
system. Yeah, like in
Wow.
South America, and I think it's perfect because
Mm,
it's like there's summertime there, and it's by the
mm.
beach.
That'll
So
be next
have,
month
I'm
when
gonna
it'll be a little
um,
chillier.
yeah. So I
Wow.
won't be
Okay.
focusing on this, but I'm still gonna be working on myself, and I'll probably be
Yeah.
happier, and I
Yeah.
wouldn't be like, hey, like just having too much idle time because I'll be taking
Hmm.
a class there. Like it's 20-hour Spanish lesson. And then they
Oh
take
my
me to
goodness.
tours. They
Yes.
go to historic landmarks. So
Hmm.
I'll be mingling with
So
a
you get
lot.
to immerse yourself with other people. We talked last time about your desire, your guru's suggestion to get out there, see other people, spend
But
that
in that
time
case,
with
I'm not even
others.
gregarious.
Yeah. What
I
do you
want
mean
to
about
break,
gregarious?
like I'm not like really sociable.
Oh, you're not. Okay. Because I would
Oh,
actually use an adjective like gregarious to say, because you are so like there's that likability that's with gregariousness, right?
no,
That
no.
that likability, that automatic like endearment, that like you want people, I can tell that's energy. You want people to like you, right? And
Yeah,
that's how you socialize and it's how we kind of learn how to figure the people out around us, right? So that we can there's an acceptance of us, a radical acceptance of us as we are, right? And so why
right.
don't you think you're gregarious? Or why don't you think that you're like that?
I don't know. I just like to be alone sometimes, probably more so than just out there and socialize with people. I can, but
Mm,
I feel like it drains me to do so.
okay.
I just like to be alone. But like if
Mm,
you want me to network with people and that's like the mission, I'll do it.
mm,
I'll
mm,
make sure that I talk to the right people, like in a room.
okay.
Like, hey, the people that I want to talk to, I'll make sure that I talk to them. But
Okay.
it's almost like a mission, like a task. You remember we
Mm,
talked
yeah.
about this? Like
Yes, we did.
Kevin's like a task.
Mm.
It's like something to check off on.
So if we talk about your authentic self wants alone time or with one close person
Yeah, yeah,
where you can actually just spend time figuring out yourself. You're trying to like yourself, right? You're trying to figure out your hobbies, the things you like, your
yeah,
independence. And society instead is requesting that you do things like network and run a business and like all of these things that actually drain your battery because you want to save energy for yourself. So
yeah.
authentic you is being not with all these other people all the time, but being by yourself or with somebody close to you. Is that right?
Right. I think
Okay.
that's also the purpose behind the trip is to
Mm-hmm.
do something that is so radical
Mm-hmm.
that like nobody's ever gonna spend rarely anybody unless you have like you do a study abroad program when you're in college.
Yes.
Uh
Mm-hmm.
Take off a month in a
Mm-hmm.
completely different country. I know nobody there. I don't
Exactly.
speak the language there. I
Yeah.
just want to have some spontaneity. Just have some
Spontaneity.
surprises,
Mm-hmm.
good or bad surprises, and just
Yes.
to kind of respond or react to
Mm,
what life throws at me, I guess.
yeah.
Because
So being more in the moment.
yeah, I can control my environment right now, and I feel like
Yeah.
I'm not controlling my environment because I'm drifting. Like I'm
Okay.
just operating on autopilot. So maybe I
Okay.
can be more present when I'm in a different environment where like I don't have any control.
Okay. Yeah. I wonder. I'm curious how that'll go. That actually brings me to ask about Lake Tahoe and the desire that you had to kind of tell me about the weekend, because there was a desire you had to like show your friend and like be a tour guide and like control parts of the schedule.
That's
Tell me about that.
it's like yeah, I that's something that I try to work on myself is not to be too much for people because I can be
Mm,
I mean almost I feel like I'm an encyclopedia when it comes to traveling.
mm,
Uh, I want to check out all these places, and I feel like people will like the same, but
mhm.
uh, his fitness level is not the same as mine. So
Yeah, you
I
said
took him
that.
to the gym, and then the very next day when hiking, he could barely walk, and that wasn't like
Mm,
even a tough hike. It wasn't a tough hike, and then he was struggling.
mm,
He was like,
mm,
"Kevin, I'm in pain. I'm in pain." You don't, I don't work out like you, like every day. The last time I worked out was 16 years ago. Even though we're the
mm.
same age, I feel so bad.
Okay.
Like, okay, so you think that just by staying home, like it will be a, a better vacation for you?
Mm,
So could
okay.
held it back, but he really appreciated the fact that, I do take him out,
Yeah.
run outdoor.
Mhm.
I don't know what else to do because that's what I like to do. Uh,
Yes.
I don't want to be
Yeah.
defined by something else. Like I don't like to watch a movie in a closed space
Hmm.
and then
Yeah.
sit there for two hours. Uh,
Hmm.
I'm sure that he doesn't mind doing that, but I
Hmm.
just basically take into what I like to do, and I guess that's
Yeah. That's the stuff you like to do. Can we go back to what you said about fearing that you're too much for people sometimes?
Mhm.
What do you mean by that? By being too much? Like you're a wealth of knowledge, you want to do things. What's that fear of being too much?
uh, it's just, I don't know. I feel like it's like a competition,
Mm,
even though it's not really a competition. Like I guess I'm just like way ahead, like in terms of athleticism or athletic ability, and he's not there. And I just like David, just go, just come with me. You can do it. Uh, I guess it goes back to like having empathy for other people, thinking
mm,
it from their perspective, knowing that hey, they can
yeah.
do it. But I mean, he wouldn't mind doing it with me. I think
Mhm,
ultimately, like at the end of the day, he did enjoy it. So which is
mhm.
good.
Yeah. So having that time with him sounded honestly wonderful. And it sounds like you're experiencing retrospective empathy, right? In the moment, you're like, we can do this. And afterwards, you're feeling a little bit bad. But can we talk about actually more, like, we don't, it doesn't have to be about David or Lake Tahoe this weekend, but you said you're worried you're being too much for people. And I want to challenge that because I want to encourage that authentic self, right? Because when we're okay with that part of authentic self, we don't feel like we have to be in competition
Mhm.
with others all the time. We just do the things that we want to do because we want to do them and not because we're trying to live up to an image of what we hold ourselves to. So I wonder about that being too much. What is the authentic you? Who are you? Are you somebody who just really wants to do things all the time and be with other people and be out there? Like, or are you somebody who like would prefer to be at the gym, focused on yourself, focused on your own body and your fitness, and then going to
Just
do
do it with
things, I guess,
somebody.
alone?
I want to do it with somebody. I want to
Okay.
enjoy it with someone else. That's why, like before, I would just be that tour guy, like taking people to places I've been before, and I feel like that's serving people more than serving me. But right now, it's almost like I want to go to a place I've never been, and we
Yeah.
get to have spontaneity and
Yeah.
surprises together. It's like
Mm.
I don't know what this is gonna be like. It seems like a great hike, and I've never done it before. I've been to Lake Tahoe, so you're gonna get
Okay.
a chance this unknown experience together with
Oh
me.
my gosh.
So that's what we did. Uh,
Okay,
but he
Kevin.
have a different kind of athletic ability, but I
Yeah.
enjoyed it very much because I
Mhm.
wasn't really just feeding him, if you will, like really just serving him, right, by taking him out as a tour guide. Because being a tour guide is a job, right? You want
It
to
is
make
a
sure that
job. Mhm.
everybody is on the same page. You want to make sure that you know the slow you know people do catch up. You want to make sure that you know and you also want to make sure that you satisfy the ones that's like ahead, like you know
Yeah,
right by your side.
exactly.
Right? Hey, we gotta slow down to take care of the ones that are slow pace,
Yeah,
and
it
then
is
you
a job.
it's a job because if you,
It
especially and
is.
they want to go with me. Like
Mhm.
my business, I have two business partners in a different business that I have. They just want to come tag along with me because they wouldn't
Mhm.
do it themselves, and
Mhm.
they're not adventurous. But every time like I take them to Tahoe or Napa,
Mhm.
it's almost like it drains me.
Of course it
It takes
does.
away my energy. As much as I like
Mhm.
to do it, the thing is like I've been there, I've done that, and I've taken so many people, even my family, to these places. I'm just being a like very nice tour guy, but I'm the one
Yeah.
who's driving. I'm the one who's planning the
Yeah,
itinerary. Itinerary
exactly.
for them. I'm booking all the wineries,
Mhm.
the
Mhm.
restaurants, and all that. That's a lot of work, like behind the scene work, like just
It is. It's so much work.
I
It
have to tell
is.
them like, hey, what this is what we're doing, and you as you know someone who is in the tour doesn't have to worry a thing. And the
Yeah.
stress that I have as a tour guy, I'm like, I
Mhm.
I want to do it, but I don't want to do it.
Mhm.
And this time is more like
Mhm.
I serve you and you also serve me.
Yes. Yes. This is
And I
just what you
thought
said
about
there.
this too, Sarah. Do
Yeah.
you know the escape room?
Yes, I do. I love
I've
escape
never
rooms.
ever done it, and I would love to do that with my significant person.
They're great. They are
taking
fantastic to do.
taking that person to Hawaii, which I've been so many times. I would
Yeah.
like to experience something which I've never experienced before, and
Mm,
my significant person is also open to, so that
I
we
love that.
can, I guess, create quality time
Mhm.
in an unknown environment.
Yes, exactly.
I feel like I can be more present that way.
Yes, and also including some service to yourself. I really wanted to bring in that selfish versus selfless, that spectrum we were talking about last time.
Mhm.
You're allowed to have someone return that love to you, right? You're allowed to return it to yourself. You're putting it so much out there for other people when you're being a tour guide and bringing them around everywhere. But where's the experience for you? So what I'm hearing is with this weekend, you actually went to a place that you hadn't been before and you brought your friend along because you want to share it with somebody. That's beautiful, Kevin. Do you hear how beautiful that is to do that? And you feel bad. Why do you feel bad after all that, after all this work to make it something that you'd enjoy as well?
Will he feel painful
You feel
afterward?
okay, okay, that's fair. And
Yeah.
were you looking for that kind of words of affirmation, that affirmation from him that he enjoyed himself? Would that make your experience better?
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Okay.
At least I feel a sense of relief that it's
Mhm.
not all bad. Yeah, despite the physical aches here and there, I can walk.
Okay.
All that. Like he whines a lot, by the way. He whines
Mm,
too much. Like David,
okay.
stop. The more you talk about your
Okay.
pain, it's not going to make it go away. Just you don't have to
Okay.
talk. There's like some multiple times. I'm like, okay.
Okay.
But yeah, it was annoying sometimes. But yeah, we had a good time. Yeah.
Okay. So it's that practice of trying to do things for yourself while also experiencing empathy when you're being honest with yourself. This is a really good thing to be like, this is frustrating to hear whining, right? And not wanting that to be like a part of your kind of regular life while
Mhm.
also like practicing. It sounds like you practiced a lot of patience also, right? In relationships, it's a lot of patience for
Oh yeah.
others and we ask that somebody is patient with us in some things, right? And you exhibited patience for someone's level of activity just so you
Yeah.
could try to enjoy your weekend.
Yeah. Sarah, I read a
Okay.
book. I can't remember where which book it was. It was talking about like how like initially in a relationship, you'll be at your
Mhm.
best behavior, you'll be attentive, you'll be
Yeah.
monitoring your behavior
Mhm.
so much because
Mhm.
you just want to make it work. And
Yeah.
the kind of like the honeymoon stage. But
Mhm.
like once that wears off, like you don't really watch
Mhm.
out like your behaviors as much and you just let it slip. And the book was talking
Yeah.
about like how we should always be on guard for these behaviors so that we can have the quality time.
For our own
So like
behaviors, right? On guard
yeah,
for those. Yes, we do. We
talking about
actually, so
patience. Yeah, I
it's
was
called the what, sorry? The,
talking about patience. I was like
yeah.
very aware of, hey, Kevin, I want to be on my best behavior. And this is not I
Yeah.
mean, he's a friend, so he knows, but still, I want to be
Mhm.
patient with you, and
Yeah.
I want to be my on my best behavior. It's a
Yeah.
practice,
It is a
and
practice.
I think that is good for the real
Yeah.
practice.
Can I give an example of how patience and impatience can exist together and radical acceptance of it? Because in long-term relationships, when you when the honeymoon stage is gone and you are working on love and you're like, I know I love this person, but now I'm just getting impatient with whatever it is, that a healthy kind of secure relationship would give you the space to be like, I am feeling impatient about this, and I'm letting you know this because I don't want to feel this way, but we've been together for this many years, we'll be together for this many years, we aren't counting the years anymore. That's how serious this is. And that is okay, because yes, we're on our best behavior when we're wanting someone to get to know us and we're wanting to put our best foot forward. We're showing what we can, the top of our game. And it's okay when some of that fades. How do we hold on to the basic pieces of love and our behaviors? That your book suggests like that we should be on guard for specific behaviors, yes, so that we can call them out. So that when we are being, if we're impatient, we're human sometimes, right? So that when that does happen, we can voice it to the other person and maybe apologize or just ask for forgiveness in that moment. What do you think about that? That example of kind of both of those things existing so that we can be on guard for those behaviors at
That's
some
a
point in our life.
that's a perspective I never thought of, which is
Yeah.
good. I like
So
that
that so
because
that not when sorry, go ahead, go ahead.
go ahead, yeah. Sorry.
I was gonna say so that when we do experience like challenges with our own behaviors, we can call that out to the other person and be like, hey, I know that probably didn't feel so great when I was super impatient, but I was, and I'm sorry, and I'm going to tell you, or you now get an opportunity to ask to be able to share your perspective. I was impatient because I was hungry, because things weren't going the way that I wanted them to or expected, or, you both get an opportunity to kind of share that so that you don't always have to be like, I'm watching my behavior 100% of the time and I will not do something wrong. We're human, Kevin. We're
Yeah,
allowed to do things wrong and ask for forgiveness,
yeah, you're
right?
right.
As long as we're committed to that part of like being honest with our partner and honest with ourselves. Yeah. What do you think about that perspective? What do you think about?
I think that's really good. I think that's really good. I think that is also, yeah, I think that's good, Sarah.
Okay. It's a practice in and of itself, right? We can kind of talk about it more in the theoretical sense right now, but it really is that accepting our humanness, and that means we aren't perfect,
Yeah.
and that like aiming for perfection is really really challenging, right? And I actually want to bring up your module for that reason, because you'd put some really really good perspective into the like aiming for perfection and savoring each moment, celebrating wins that are small, but I thank them
How
for
can you
causing.
help
Yeah, go
another
ahead.
person to understand your perspective? So I
Yeah,
feel like that's the art of communication.
yeah. So
Mhm.
finding somebody that understands that perspective, right? Being able to communicate that.
Or yeah, I don't think nobody will understand you more than you understand yourself, but you trying to
Yep.
help the other person to understand you better. And that's the art of
Yes.
communication, right?
Yes, you were right. It's so
Like
true. And it's so
it's not
interesting.
it's not someone else's fault that they don't understand you.
Yeah.
And I can't blame it on that person for not understanding Kevin, because I don't even understand myself sometimes.
Yeah.
How do I
Yeah.
expect the other person
Mhm.
to understand me? But what I
Yeah.
can do is to help that person to understand Kevin, which
Exactly.
I'm trying to grasp
Mhm.
understanding of.
Mhm. And if you were to say that to a partner, that is beautiful. If you
Okay.
were to say that to somebody you care and love, that is a beautiful thing to say to them, to be like, I just want to be heard and understood. I will try my best not to expect you to understand me fully, but because I'm still trying to understand myself, but I just want you to know that like I'm working on this and I desire to be understood and we're going to work on communicating these
Let me give
things.
you a hug.
Yeah. Because then the right person will say, I will try that for you. And if I don't understand what's going on, I will probably tell you, I don't know what's going on in your mind and you need to tell me so that you can have that communication, right? So that someone needs to respond to that, right? That openness with
Okay.
that same openness and kindness instead of being like, you can't read anybody's mind. Like nobody should respond to that with that. That's the way
Yeah.
you just voice that is gorgeous. It's beautiful. I'm glad you're recording this because hear yourself say that. You are allowed to say that to somebody and they should respond in this like open way if they're ready themselves, right? That's the thing. It's a lot about shared openness, shared communication. You're developing these skills, and it actually really makes me want to go back to a question you asked about developing more sensitivity and being nurturing enough. And we talked about awareness and sensitivity of our own feelings and emotions.
Yeah.
You said, how do we do this, Sarah? How do we do this?
Yeah.
What you are doing right here by just being honest with yourself and saying, I'm trying to figure myself out. And what I want is for you to understand me. That's my feeling right now. I know it's not necessarily possible because I'm still trying to figure myself out, but I really want the effort back and forth.
Hmm.
That's just being honest, right?
Okay.
It's saying what you need. It's saying what you are craving in a relationship. You're craving that depth, that intimacy, that emotional awareness on both
So
sides.
when is it that it's you're just way too needy?
Mm. When is
Like,
it that you're way too needy?
yeah.
So that's such a
So about your
personal
need,
thing.
it's
Oh,
just,
what about your own needs?
yeah, it's like going to
Okay.
the other extreme, like, hey, because I
Mhm.
don't want to I don't want to be perceived as a needy person.
Yeah.
I guess that's
Mhm.
part of being a man too, is I don't want to
Yeah.
be perceived as being vulnerable.
Mm,
So like when I get when she wanted me to talk about it, I guess there's a part of me, I guess that's like instinct is not to
instinct that
talk
wanted to
about it,
protect
not
that.
to talk about
Mhm.
it. There's nothing to talk about. And I guess that's part of also my childhood is I didn't really
Oh, you froze, Kevin. Hello? Hello? I lost you for a sec.
okay.
Hello? Hi. It cut off. It said
Oh
it
my
was a
God.
part of your childhood and then it cut you off. Sorry,
Yeah,
continue.
like it's just like I wasn't given a chance to really
Mhm.
uh express myself, to talk about myself. So
Yeah.
I didn't really developed that
Yeah.
organ to like just
Mhm.
express myself.
Mhm.
So I think that's underdeveloped.
Yeah, but we're
Really under.
practicing it right now. What you're doing right now is practicing being just honest with yourself. And
Mhm.
what we're training, if we want to talk about it this very specifically, what we're training your brain to do is be like, hey, it's okay. Hey, it's okay. Sarah's not running away saying that you're needy. Sarah's providing you praise, saying, oh my gosh, listen to you. Talk about your emotions in
Even
this really
that,
beautiful way. Pardon?
even that, like I just I feel like I'm not like receiving it. It's like I feel like I don't deserve it. Like I'm trying to like push it away.
You don't
Like
deserve to feel
praise.
your own emotions?
No, like giving praise to me.
Oh, I
So
see.
that I'm pushing that
Mm.
away. Like I don't know. I just want to
I
give.
don't, I know because you are concerned
Hmm.
about being perceived as selfish. Your mother has told you your entire life, don't be like your father, don't be selfish. So you are completely abhorrent of anything that might seem like needing for yourself.
Yeah, I just don't
And
feel comfortable
and
receiving.
tied into that. So there's a really interesting perspective around like when you first start in a relationship, the the beginning, you want to just give, 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 give it. You don't want to ask for anything in return. It's
Hmm.
really, really challenging to be like, hey, in somebody, in what I desire in another person are these things. What I desire to
Yeah.
feel in a relationship is this, right? How to like tell ourselves what like, so just asking you now, what are you hoping to feel in a relationship? This isn't about neediness. This isn't about selfishness. What do you hope to feel in a positive relationship with another person? What is just genuinely, what are you hoping to feel? Just
I,
asking that right now. Are you
I
hoping
just
to feel loved?
want to feel love. Yeah. I want to feel
Yeah.
I want to feel peace. I want to feel
Mm.
support,
Yeah.
and I want to feel yeah, mutual support.
Okay. Okay. Mutual support. So, can I ask you,
Yeah.
how is your partner supposed to support you if you don't tell her what you need?
All right.
And not in the needy sense, right? I understand the desire to not be needy. I mean, women experience it too. It's this really fine line of not asking for everything from that person all at once, right? It's that really fine line of just understanding who you are as a person and maybe what you need in the moment and what you're looking for in life, but recognizing, hey, I'm going to fill a lot of my own needs, but in this relationship, I really want to feel supported. I really want to feel loved and adored, and I want to feel peace. If you're not a fan of conflict, which a lot of people aren't, how do we approach conflict in this really beautiful, team oriented, collaborative way so it's not so scary? Right? How do we be like, hey, we're in conflict because we care about each other right now. We're in conflict because we want to work this out and we see
Yeah.
something very differently. So how
Right.
do we view it from that perspective instead of being like the concern that conflict means something's wrong? It actually just means that there's something to be worked on. There's an opportunity to do this together and be stronger on the other side.
Yeah.
Now, what do you
Yeah.
think about that perspective?
I think that's really good. That's really good. I've never thought about it that way. Uh, it's like, hey, because I mean, it's a good, reframing of that. The conflict is really we're trying to like work on something together.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
it would
Together.
be
Yes.
problematic without conflicts, I guess.
Yeah. Yep. It would be because things are going to happen in our lives, Kevin. We're going to lose people. Wars are happening around the world, right? Things are going to happen. And
Yeah.
how do we know that that person that we have with us is going to support us without, we need to understand how they manage conflict.
Mhm.
And also, the beauty about conflict is it shows us, it helps our brain trust that other person a little bit more every single time. Because if we make it through that conflict, wow, look at us. She didn't make it, she wasn't defensive. She didn't personalize it. She actively wanted to work through it. Wow, she must really like care about this relationship because she actively wanted to work through it and didn't walk away from conflict.
Mhm.
Helps train our brain to be like, maybe I can trust this person with some of this vulnerability I'm experiencing. Right. And
Mhm.
you doing the same thing in return, right? Both of you. So then she can be like, oh, I can trust this person with things I'm vulnerable about, or I feel vulnerable about because he didn't walk away from conflict. He stood up to it and said, yep, let's talk about this. I'm very uncomfortable right now, but let's do this.
I think I was at fault because I was trying to avoid conflict.
You're
I didn't want
scared
to
of it.
talk about it. Huh?
You wanted everything to be perfect,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Can you provide some love to yourself for yourself at that time? You are you now and you were you then. Be like, you know exactly why you didn't want to face conflict because you wanted it to be perfect so badly.
Yeah.
Mm.
You're right.
Okay to have wanted it to be perfect. It's okay.
Mm.
Radically accept yourself then and accept the fact that you're changing and learning now. It's beautiful. We have 5 minutes left. I want to follow up on your milestones. Oh my gosh. It's we could talk forever about these things, right? And this is the beautiful piece of it. It's like I'm so curious to hear about a lot of your reflections as well, but I'm curious right now more about your milestones. How has it been doing nothing?
Well, it's not the easiest thing to do. I feel like my mind is still going 1,000 miles an hour, Sarah,
Yeah.
even
Mhm.
though my body is still.
Okay.
Just
Mine's still going.
letting it be, I guess my mind wander.
Yeah, let it
I can
wander.
train it to like focus on things. I can train it to not focus on things or not train it to do anything.
Yeah.
Then I
Mhm.
guess the natural outcome is it wanders.
Yes, so it wanders. This is where leaves on a stream will come in, my dear. Honestly, truly, leaves on a stream, placing those thoughts on leaves and they can go down the stream at whatever rate you want them to. But
Yeah.
then they're just there and the thoughts are there, and you don't have to judge yourself for your mind wandering. You don't have to judge yourself during that time. You're human, right? So, how do we just like, oh, there goes another thought. Wow, okay, all right, interesting. Without any judgment, right? Oh, another thought. Okay. So practicing that acceptance of your thoughts as they come in. It's a practice. Doing nothing is a practice, that right? Like doing
Oh
nothing,
yeah.
even just for 5 minutes and seeing what comes up. I love, 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 love. I want I want to provide you so much praise for trying it, right? And seeing what comes so we can talk about these things and seeing what
Yeah.
comes up for you. Can we talk about your second milestone? Because I want to, I'll share the screen again, but you talked about this last time and we didn't give it enough time. I apologize. But I will listen and be mindful of the present moment in an interaction with a personal relationship.
Oh, I
Do you
haven't done
want
it yet.
to,
Oops.
do we haven't even talked about action steps yet. That's okay. So let's talk about what that might look like. Well, we've got like 3 more minutes. What does this look like for you
Listen and be mindful of the present moment.
in an interaction?
I think I kind of practiced that when I was with my friend.
You
And
did, okay.
even before he came, I made an effort to focus on our conversation, phone conversation, because he's very chatty. He can talk on end. If you give him like 2 hours or 24 hours, he'll just like talk now.
Wow.
But then I gave him like 10 minutes and I just focused on really, really listen to him. So I thought that was good. I can continue to do that with him.
Yes.
Um, yeah,
So setting a timer for yourself to create space for a
right.
friend
I try to
without
be more
any
intentional
interruptions.
as well. Like, because
Pardon me,
I
sorry?
yeah, checking out like in a
Mhm.
business meeting is
Mhm.
hey when they just talk like all these good cohorts, they just talk not
Yeah.
nonstop, and then I just tell them, hey, just get to the point. I think
Mm,
I have more patience now just to listen to their see stories,
okay.
even though I'm still like, hey, in the back of my mind, get to the point, please.
Yeah. Yeah. And you're trying to, so you're maintaining attentiveness to the words that are being
Yeah,
said. Hold on to the practice of patience.
yeah.
Be non-judgmental, being non-judgmental of yourself when you say, hey, I want this person to get to the point. You don't have to judge yourself for that. You're not saying it out loud. You're just recognizing that you're feeling that way because you want to move on to something, and then you can bring yourself back to the present. What do you think
Okay,
about that? The present, be non-judgmental of myself when I think, okay, just get to the point already. Because we can also turn this, oh my goodness, I've got so many other ideas. Okay, just get to the point. Like you don't have to be judgmental of yourself when I think, specifically think. Okay, just get to the point. Stay in the moment with the person, right? Oh my goodness. Moment with the person. Keep track of the things you are learning. I am learning about this other person. So really, it is a practice. It really is. This is also shared with you. I'll make sure I pin this. I saw you started pinning things in the Slack chat. Thank you for doing that. It's amazing. I'll add it
awesome.
to the bookmark. It's still in the bookmarks files there, but I'll
Okay,
pin it. And I have to go now. I'm so sorry, but I will send you the leaves on a stream because we talked about radical acceptance and seeing. Let me know if it resonates with you. If you have
I
any questions, please let me know. Okay.
will.
I'm excited to see you again, Kevin. You're doing wonderful. You really are. Look at what you've learned about yourself. Oh my gosh.
Thank you, Sarah.
Amazing. Okay. I will see you again soon.
Okay,
Thank you.
I'm going. Okay,
Bye.
okay, bye.